one of the most important things we can do is actually take a moment. We create new neural pathways when we challenge our own emotions. Being okay with sitting in the emotions, allowing ourselves to recognize what they are, and then choosing what we're going to do is the most effective way, because not only does it help to reduce those emotions, but it actually improves our resilience. It improves our emotional intelligence, builds strength, just like any muscle. I have a little 3-stage process that I teach people, and it's simple and easy to remember. Name it, claim it, tame it. Name the emotion. All the words you can possibly come up with to name what the emotion is. If you need to say it out loud, say it out loud, but consciously label those emotions. Tame it is about, wait a second, is this mine? Is this someone else's? Why is this a problem for me? What is the issue here? Claim it is about owning it and choosing what you're going to do next. How am I going to move forward from this space? That is my favorite way to help people understand how they can take control in a situation.
I love the tame it bit where you go, hang on, is this mine or is this somebody else's? And am I just reacting to it? It's so true. One thing I've noticed is that when we have a thought, we often make it ours straight away, rather than ask that question, hang on, where is this coming from? Is this thought mine, or is this something from millions of years ago in my evolution as a human being? Was this because of something that happened to me when I was 3 and it's just coming up again for me? Is this something somebody said to me that's stuck in my brain and I've made it real? I really love that because it is very disruptive. And I also love the idea of using humor to bring back your emotions into a bit more homeostasis. Although I'm not thrilled you reversed the full cup analogy, because we're like, self-care, it's all about filling your cup up, but this is a different cup. So that's that cup. This is a different cup. In this cup, you're allowed to bring it down. So
yeah, I do like to tell people, you can pretend we have 2, right? We have the self-care cup, which is all the me stuff, looking after me, and I'm doing well in recovery. But this one's really about carrying around all of the stuff from the day at an emotional level, at a physiological level. And yeah, I know it throws people off. Wait, is my cup supposed to be full or empty?
2 cups. 2 cups.
2 cups.
Yeah. I think I just did 4 cups. 2 cups. Let's bring it to a real situation. Let's maybe talk about an example, because I think I'd love to take it out of the conceptual. So can you think of a situation that might be triggering for someone, and maybe walk us through the imaginary process of how to bring this heightened sense of emotions down a level?
And it's not something you just learn overnight either. And so I always encourage people before we start that process is have grace with yourself. One of the most challenging things we encounter nowadays is that we live in this fail or succeed mindset, understanding that it's not about fail or succeed to begin with. It's about learn. It's about what worked and what didn't work. It's about let's experiment, because each person is really different. And so the question that I ask that may be really impactful for you and self-reflective might not be for me. And it's about the journey, not this instantaneous, we can solve the problem. So I'm just trying to think of a good example with a client recently where there was a bit of a conflict that had come up. Conflict tends to be misunderstood because it's usually unmatched expectations. And so again, there's that black and white thinking. That's not necessarily wrong. It's not necessarily right, but they're both different. So when we encounter a conflict situation, we want to be aware of that. So this particular client that I'm thinking of actually had a conflict with significant relationship. And coming into the conversation was very heightened emotions. And this is a coaching session. Ideally, I want them to be relaxed, open, and comfortable to learn and test themselves. But this had just literally blown up. So recognizing this in this moment, I can see from the body language, words, and speed that this person is agitated. And I can tell, of course, because that is part of my job, but you can pretty much be guaranteed that most other people would have seen it. So this is really the first indicator is how do you experience the emotion? How do you physically experience it? Are my hands clenched? Is my heart pounding? Is my face clenched up? Am I biting my lip?
So when you can sense another person's about to have a reaction,
you can really see it from many different perspectives, right? I could be across the room and see it in somebody's body language, but I could be close and hear something change in their voice. Building that self-awareness about how that shows up for us is also important. What is the sensations that I'm experiencing in my body that tell me that I am becoming triggered by whatever is happening? And for some people, there are extremes, and for others, it's actually very controlled. And so this is a space where, as someone who's ADHD, you might actually completely shut down emotion, but that you're completely shutting down emotion when that's been identified as part of your masking. So it still should tell you, okay, I got that feeling like I'm not feeling anything, or I'm feeling this excessive surge of emotions and it's showing up this way. Being able to recognize that for ourselves is valuable because sometimes even just forcing a physical can be helpful.